Hey, and welcome. I'm Laura, live Namasturm Yoga. Today's practice is going to focus on stretching. So join me seated on your mat. Today we're going to do a little bit of a slower, deeper stretching practice. So I'm all for vigorous vinyasa style practices. I like to flow, I like to breathe, I like to work a little more athletically. But I do think that it is beneficial to change that up every once in a while and just slow down and maybe get into some of the deeper stretching poses that yoga is really well known for. So we're going to start sitting here. We are going to actually warm up a little bit, so we will do some moving early on just so that our muscles can be warm before we start to get into some of the deeper stretch poses. So from your seated position, let's go ahead and just flow with the breath a little bit. Inhale, reach the arms up. If you like, you can bring your palms together and look up. And then on an exhale, just take a simple twist over to the right. Left hand to the right knee, right fingers behind. And we're just going to keep flowing. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, twist to the left. So this is really gentle, really small. It's just movement. Inhale and exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more time each side. Follow the pace of your own breath. You can work with an ujjayi practice if you like here. And then last time, inhale, reach the arms up. Let's just bring palms together in front of the heart. Close the eyes and just for a moment, tune into the breath. Okay, let's move to our knees. So uncross your legs, take your knees to the floor, and then we're gonna step the right foot out. We're gonna do a little side stretching here to begin. So right hand to that right leg. Exhale, lean over. Inhale, take the arms up, and then we're gonna go the other way. Exhale, over to the left. Left fingers touch, right arm reaches. Inhale, come on up. Exhale to the right. And again, just a flow. If this is too slow of a flow for you, you could go a little quicker, just going directly from one side to the other without really reaching up in between. So find what feels good here, just warming up. And then we're gonna end with the left hand on the floor, under the shoulder, right arm up and over. And then if you can, float that right foot up, reach through the fingers, reach through the lifted heel. Finally, optional, bend the right knee behind you, reach back with your right hand for the foot, and then gently pull the heel away from the hip. Move the right shoulder and head back as the foot kind of moves behind you towards your head. And then let the knee come back to the floor. And we're just gonna change sides. So take the left leg out and the left hand can come to that leg, reach up, and then maybe reaching through center on an inhale. Exhale, go the other way. Inhale, come on up. Exhale, stretch to the left. Inhale up. Exhale, stretch to the right. Or if you want to go a little faster, you could come up on an inhale, go all the way to the left. Exhale, right. Just follow the breath here. And then finishing with the right hand on the floor under the shoulder, left arm overhead alongside the ear. You could just stay here, but if you want to come to balance, just gently lift that left foot off the floor, right shoulder over wrist, right hip over knee, and then maybe bend your left knee behind you, reach back with your left hand for your foot, and just a gentle pull here. We don't want to go too vigorous into the back bend. We're really just getting started. Whatever feels good, though. And let that go. Inhale, with both knees together, reach the arms up. I'm gonna turn on my mat. Exhale, bring the hands down to the floor, and let's do a few cat-cow stretches here. So set yourself up in a tabletop position, and then just flow. Inhale, cow pose. Exhale, cat pose. Spinal flexion. Really try to articulate, though, between each of those vertebrae on your spine. All right, we're gonna just add on a little bit. So go ahead and drop in a child's pose on an exhale. Inhale, come back to tabletop or a little cow. Exhale, hips to heels. And then this next time, let yourself just hold in child's pose. If you want to, you can take your knees a little wide so your belly can drop between your thighs. And then come on up. Keep the hands about where they are. Move your shoulders forward over the wrists. Maybe even walk the knees back a little bit more. We're gonna bend the elbows and slowly lower the heart down between the hands. And then from here, let's take Cobra Pose. And maybe this first one just wants to be a baby cobra with the hands on the floor, but not taking any weight. Heart up, head up a little bit. Or you can push all the way up to regular cobra if you're ready. Shoulders back. Try to keep them from hunching up to your ears. Legs and glutes are soft behind you. Now we're gonna flow a little bit between this small sequence of poses. So we're gonna exhale, drop the hips back to the heels in child's pose, and the arms might feel real long here. That's great. Inhale, come back to your tabletop, but it might feel a little wide. Exhale, lower down by bending the elbows. Inhale, come on up, cobra. So it's almost like a vinyasa, but we're staying on our knees. Exhale to child's pose. Inhale, come on up, hands and knees. Exhale, lower down. Inhale to the little back bend. Do this a couple more times. Again, follow the rhythm or pace of your own breath. All right, so now, after you come to Cobra the next time, instead of child's pose, let's go ahead and go to downward facing dog. So tuck your toes, and this time the knees and hips will lift. Now, if you prefer to stay with child's pose, you can. Stay there if you need to with knees on the floor. Otherwise, if your knees are lifted, take a little time to pedal through the feet, bending one knee, let the opposite leg straighten, switching to the other side as needed. Root into the hands, elongate the torso. And now we're just going to gently walk the feet forward to the front of the mat. Just come all the way forward until your feet are up by where your hands were. And we're just going to hang for a moment here, dangling. So soft knees, let the upper body relax, release. You can nod or shake the head here if that feels good. If your hands hit the floor, you might grab your elbows, maybe sway. From here, place the fingertips lightly on the floor. You can lift up the torso just a little bit or have it, just where it feels most comfortable. We're gonna pick up the legs one at a time and just lift them behind us. So take the right leg up on an inhale and then just return it to the floor on an exhale. Inhale, lift the left leg. The leg doesn't have to be super straight. It doesn't need to go super high. We're really just kind of warming up. So we're warming up that hip joint as we move the legs up and down, one at a time. Support your upper body with the fingers. Now, the next time you go to pick up your left leg, we're going to keep the right leg on the ground. We're going to pick up the left leg and step it all the way to the back of the mat. Take your left knee down, and then working with the right leg, we're just going to straighten it and bend. And you can keep your toes on the floor unless they pop up. It's okay if they do, but you can try to just keep your foot on the floor and gently straighten so the hips move back over the knee, and then bend so the knee moves forward over the ankle. Straighten and bend and straighten. And now we're going to keep the knee bent over the ankle and come to a full low lunge so we can bring the upper body up. If this back knee is giving you any trouble, you can fold the side edge of your mat, double it up, and put the knee on the doubled up part, or you could put a towel or something underneath it. Let's see if we can come up with the upper body. So maybe just hands on thighs, but if possible, you can take the arms up, maybe behind the head. Lunge in here. So we're going to stay with the rhythm of the breath as we hold these poses that we're stretching into, just to kind of keep the calmness that the breath brings us, to help us stay connected. Now, let's take the right hand to the top of the right thigh and pull the left arm over so that we can take a twist. So really try to get the upper arm outside of the leg, press your palms, and turn to the right. And then at the end here, this is optional, but if you can, tuck your left toes under and then straighten the back leg so that that back knee just floats off the ground. Reach through the heel. Now turn to the floor, plant your palms. Let's just step right back to downward facing dog. So lift the hips up, move the heart back. And again, if you like to, you could pedal through the feet or just find stillness and create some subtle depth in this pose as you hold it. Let's walk the hands back to the feet. And then I'm just going to turn around here on my mat so that now I'm facing the other front. If it makes more sense for you to walk forward to the other end of your mat, you certainly can. And then we're going to go ahead and just lift the right leg up and step that back so we can take our low lunge on the other side. Let's take the right knee down, and we're starting with just that straightening and bending, straightening. So this isn't a deep stretch, this is just movement that's going to help to warm up the muscles so that they're more prepared to stretch. You might feel some stretching, but it's not that depth that we get with a held stretch. We'll do that in a moment. All right, now this time knee over ankle. Let's come on up with the upper body for our low lunge. Again, if you need to pad your back knee, go ahead and find a way to do that. You could start with just the hands on the thigh, and that's fine, and just gently pressing down, moving your heart back. But if you're able to, you can take the arms up, you could take the hands behind the head, and then widen your elbows. So up to you what stretch feels best for you in the arms and upper body. Continue to sink the hips forward toward that front heel. Now, left hand to the left thigh, just to kind of help you work that right arm all the way to the outside of the leg. Press palms and turn the sternum behind your thumbs. You probably won't get all the way there, but that's our direction, right? And then optional, if you want to make this a little bit deeper, a little stronger, tuck your right toes. Straighten out that back leg by reaching through the heel so that your knee floats up off the ground. And then turning to the floor. Once again, let's step to downward facing dog. Lift the hips and move the heart back. We'll hold for about 3 breaths. And then again, I'm going to walk my hands back to the feet, coming back to a standing forward fold. And this time, if you want to take Padangustasana, grab the big toes, pull up, lengthen the torso, and then fold deeply towards your legs. And then release your fingers from your toes. I'm going to turn around again. Go ahead and come to a seat. And let's just hug the knees into the chest. So just curling into a little ball here. Come on up. Keep the right knee tucked in. Take the left leg straight out on the mat. And then see if you can reach down with the hands for that right foot and gently straighten the leg. Now, it may not get completely straight, but if you can, start to push the foot to the ball of the foot into the hands to really lengthen that leg. And then moving both the leg towards the chest and the heart towards the leg. Now let's bend the knee to the right, lean back, bend the left knee so you can cross your ankle onto the thigh, and then moving the chest towards your shin, let your right knee move away from you and you can track your left heel in so that your hips and heel come pretty close to each other. Now, leaning back onto the hands and maybe walking the left foot a little further away. Let's press down, lift the hips up. Keep that crossed ankle. Chin in where that head could go back. Taking the hips to the floor, straighten the left leg out again, plant the right foot outside of the left leg and twist. Left arm around or past right knee, turn over the right shoulder. All right, let's switch legs. Right leg out, starting with just the left knee in. And you can continue to hold the knee if that makes more sense. But I think most of us will be able to at least grab the ball of the foot and straighten the leg a little, even if it's not completely straight. As the leg straightens and you push the foot into the hands, think about just gently moving the leg towards you, but also moving your chest and your torso towards your leg. Keep the right leg engaged and strong on the floor there for an anchor. And then we're going to cross the left ankle on top of the right thigh. Pull the right heel towards you. Use your hands behind you to move your chest towards your shin. Let the left knee open wide. And then walk the hands back a little. You can turn the fingers out if you want to change it up a little bit. Maybe right foot slightly forward, press down, lift up. Try to get the hips as high as the knee, chin in or head back. And slowly take the sit bones back to the floor. Uncross the legs. Let's lower all the way down to our back. And we're going to take plow pose here, Hastasana. If plow pose is a bad idea for you, if your neck gives you trouble or anything like that, you could just take your legs up in the air and just have them float right up over your hips. But if you're ready for plow, which is a nice big stretch for the upper back, go ahead and lift your hips, press the palms down to help you. Try to get the feet to the floor behind you. And your hands can interlace behind you, shoulder blades tuck in. Breathe. Now to come out of the pose, maybe bend the knees, maybe not. See if you can reach the hands back to grab the feet. And as you roll down to your spine, push the balls of the feet into the hands to slow you down so your feet are your counterbalance. Return your spine carefully to the floor, and we're moving to happy baby. So keep the head and shoulders down. Once your hips are down, just bend those knees by the sides of your chest. Let the hands continue to weight the feet down a little bit so the knees can drop. Maybe rock a little on your low back. Now, we're going to keep hold of the right foot, but let the left leg come to the ground. Lift up your head and shoulders, and we're going to try to work into our shoulder hip here. So we're going to grab the foot with the hands, but the right hand is going to grab the right calf and try to move your shoulder here inside the knee. Now, this is actually pretty similar to compass pose, which we would do sitting, But you're going to grab around the front of your right foot with the left hand. You've got a little crook in your elbow you've created. Let your head rest there, and then let the right arm extend, and then maybe straighten the left leg out, or the right leg out a little bit. Let your head roll onto your arm. Okay, moving out of that side, come back to the floor with your chest and shoulders and switch legs. Do the best you can with this stretch. So this can be, if your shoulders are real tight or your hips don't work in this pose, just go where you need to, even if you're just staying with like a simple half happy baby. But it can be a really nice opener for the side of the body if you can go a little deeper into it. So give it a shot. Don't hurt yourself. Lift your chest. Use your left hand to bring that left shoulder into the crook of your knee, and then the right hand is going to reach around the front of the foot, and so you've created like a little frame that maybe your head can just rest in, and maybe you just hold here. But if possible, let the left arm extend, and then start to gently push the ball of the left foot into the right hand to extend the arm, feeling a stretch all along here, as well as for the left leg. And then when you're ready, just release it carefully. Let's bring the knees in and roll from shoulders to hips a couple of times. We're going to roll up the last time to boat pose, Navasana. So see if you can just balance on the sit bones here. And then maybe reach for the feet. So bend the knees to get them a little closer to you. Balls of the feet. And now we're going to take both legs up. So we're balancing. But as we were doing before, when we were just doing this one leg at a time, we're moving the legs toward the body and the body towards the legs. So you get narrower. So it becomes a deeper fold here. But there's still a sense of balance and counterbalance as we hold on our sit bones. And then bend the knees, bring the feet to the floor. Let's come to the feet, and we're going to take Hastasana. So another forward fold, letting the palms slide under the feet with the toes to the wrists, and wiggle those toes. Let the head hang, lift the shoulders up. Go deep into the forward fold here if that feels right to you, so you can start to draw your torso in and straighten the backs of the legs. Okay, palms to the floor. Now, we're going to keep the right foot forward, step the left foot back, and we're going to continue to work our hamstrings just a little deeper. We're going to take the left knee down and come to Ardha Hanumanasana. Hips over back knee, pop onto your right heel, flex the right foot now so the toes are up instead of being on the floor. And then we're just going to let the upper body fold. We want to anchor here, so we want to sort of lift this quad and pull the leg deeper into the hip socket. Just to do the opposition, right? So we've got our isometric stretch. I'm trying to find the right words here, but let's just fold. Now, for those of you who have more flexible hamstrings and you want to go deeper and you feel that it is a safe choice, you could slide the heel all the way forward. It might even slide off your mat, going in the direction of full Hanumanasana. This is certainly optional, and if you start to feel like this is really causing a lot of pain, or if you've had to bend your right knee a lot to extend the leg out in front of you, just come back to half splits. The front leg should be basically straight. All right, and then slide the heel back in. Let's go ahead and come back to the front foot with the knee over the ankle. Tuck the back toes under, extend through the back heel, plant the left palm. Take the right arm up for a twist. Keeping the knee over the ankle, if you want to, you can let that top arm lean back so that your chest and shoulder open further. And hands to the floor. Let's step forward so we can just change legs. So left foot forward. Now the right foot's going to go back. Lower the right knee to the floor. Move your hip back above the right knee, but it shouldn't be above the right heel, so it shouldn't be like way back here. Your back thigh should be vertical. Pop onto your left heel and then folding. Gentle, right? Be careful. You don't want to overstretch here. Maybe think about drawing the left quad a little bit back so we're engaging the muscles of the top of the leg as we attempt to stretch the muscles underneath the leg. Maybe moving towards full Hanumanasana by sliding your left heel forward to some degree, and it might just be a little bit further forward. Whatever feels right, don't overdo it. And then we'll slide the left heel back so that we can put our knee over our ankle again and move, bend that front knee, plant the right palm, tuck your back toes, straighten out the back leg, and lift the left arm up for a twist. And turning back to your mat, let's go ahead and step the left foot back. So we're coming to plank pose, and then we're going to lower the knees. Once again, bend the elbows, lower the chest down between the hands. And let's take the hands behind the back, interlace the fingers, lift your shoulders, lift your chest, and maybe lift the arms up off of your waist so we can stretch those shoulders. You can keep your feet on the floor, or if it feels good to you, lift the legs, keep them straight. Try to point the toes behind you. And let yourself come back down. Forehead or an ear to the floor. Let's move into bow pose for a full back bend here. If you'd rather, you could stick with Cobra or even Sphinx for a smaller back bend. If you're able to, though, reach back with your hands for the feet or maybe even the ankles. Knees shouldn't be going wider than the shoulders, though. Shoulder blades on your back, pelvis presses down, pull the heels away from the hips and come up. Let's try to hold 5 to 7 breaths or longer. And then when you're ready to come down, let yourself release very slowly. Again, forehead or an ear to the floor. Now we're going to do a bit of a stretch for the front of our shoulder, along with a twist that kind of goes with this stretch. So we're going to start with the right. We're going to take that right arm out. with the elbow kind of at a 90-degree angle here, and the elbow should be directly out from the shoulder. And then right ear to the floor, left hand to the floor, and we're just gonna kind of roll back, lifting up the left leg and stepping it behind. Okay, rolling out. We're just gonna change sides. So the left arm out with the elbow straight out from the shoulder, left ear to the floor, right hand to the floor, and rolling to the side, but keep your left shoulder down. Step that foot behind you. Try not to kick anything. Okay, come out gently, back to your belly, and let's go back to child's pose again. So hips to the heels, knees wide, forehead down. We can do just a little gentle side stretch here by walking the hands all the way over to the right, forehead toward the knee. And then going the other way with the hands, belly over the thigh. And come back to center, come on up. Let's take hero pose, Virasana. So feet wide, sit the hips between the heels. If the hips won't come down to the floor, you can sit up on a block or a book, or you can even just put the feet together and sit on the heels. And you can either stay upright if you feel like you're getting a stretch here, or many of us will want to start to walk back. You can start to walk back to your forearms, maybe puff up the chest and let your head fall back. If your hips are all the way to the floor between the feet, then you have the option to lay flat back on the mat fully. Breathe here. And support yourself to come back up. Nice and easy. And let's go ahead and take the legs out wide for Upavishta Konasana. If you have a hard time keeping the spine upright in Upavishta. Like if you're just slumping back, you can either sit up on something, or you could do this stretch one leg at a time by tucking the other leg in, and sometimes that just helps to move the body a little bit more forward and upright. But if you're able to take both legs out together, go ahead and do that. And we're going to turn our body to the right and fold towards the right leg. Keep both feet flexed and both quads a little engaged as we fold here. From here, right arm plants on the leg or inside the leg if you can. Open the chest, top arm up and over alongside the ear. For those of you able to easily reach the pinky toe side of the foot without dropping the arm in front of the face, try to grab the big toe side of the foot with the right hand, the pinky toe side of the foot with the left hand, and then twist your chest. Come on up, angle toward the left leg and fold. Come up just a little, but try to keep the depth that you found in this hamstring stretch as you plant your left arm wherever it can go. Open the chest, reach the right arm over the ear, so not in front of the face. Maybe reach for the foot, maybe not. It doesn't matter whether you have it or not, but if you do have the foot, then try to turn further open. And come on up. And one more stretch here, straight down the middle. A couple of options for hands. You could grab big toes like Padangustasana. You could take hands behind you and interlace the fingers, shoulders back, arms come up and over, or you could just simply have the hands in front of you. Walking the hands out, you could maybe, as you lower down, forearms to the floor. If your head doesn't make it to the floor, you could actually stack your fists and take your forehead to those hands. But find a way to relax into this pose. The legs stay engaged, but the upper body should be able to let go. And we'll hold for about 10 breaths here. And come on up carefully. Take the legs in, give them a little bounce. If you'd like to for a moment, maybe take the heels in, folding down, let the knees go wide. And then let's come back to our cross-legged seated position. I encourage you to take a little time in Shavasana at the end of this practice to really let go after our stretching. But for now, let's just inhale, reach the arms out and up. Exhale, palms together in front of the heart. Close the eyes, tune into your breath. And we'll end our shared practice with a simple bow forward. The light in me recognizes and honors the light in you. Thank you so very much for joining me today and sharing this practice. Namaste. All right, well, have a wonderful rest of your day. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. Give this practice a thumbs up if you did enjoy it. And if you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave those for me as well. All right, take care. Hope you'll join me again next time. Bye-bye.